Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jared.
And can you believe it is 68 degrees out here in Japan in August?
Is it 68 degrees?
Yeah.
I just went outside and I didn't even notice.
I've got my computer set to Fahrenheit, so I know what the actual temperature is in real numbers.
Oh yeah, it does say 70 degrees right now in my area. Wow.
Yeah.
Light rain. I hope it rains all day.
I don't need it to do that.
Fucking stay home and don't come to work and don't bother me.
Yeah. Yeah, my day at work is packed with old ladies who just could not stand to have a week away from me.
Oh, you know, they're at home looking at the wall, right? They paint the wall white and then they just stare at it all
touching
day.
themselves.
And they're like, I miss Todd.
They have that accent too.
They talk just like that.
Yeah. But I was talking to Tomo the other day, and I was saying I couldn't wrap my head around because it felt like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago there was a cultural shift where suddenly everybody was like, you know what my favorite season is? Fall. And I was saying I couldn't understand why all of a sudden people cared about seasons and why all of a sudden it had to be fall. Like, everyone thought they were so, I don't know, what's the word? Cool for preferring fall over other seasons.
Really?
Is that a thing?
Anyone who prefers summer is a fucking crazy person. How could you prefer the season where it's like so hot I literally die?
Because for me, all the other seasons are so cold I literally die.
What? You can just put on a sweater. Man, I can't take my skin off. Like, you can only get so naked. Acceptably. This is why I tell everybody when everyone's like, "Hey, can you turn up the temperature in the room? It's a little bit cold." I'm like, "Hey, you can just put on a sweater, my guy. I can't take more clothes off in front of you."
Well, I just want you to know that with me, you can take off as much as you want.
Oh, good.
Do you think it's entirely okay, so let's take summer out, because I recognize as a summer lover that most people hate summer. But isn't just spring, like, objectively better?
What? Than summer?
Yeah.
Than fall.
Than fall.
I was going to say, look, man, anything's better than summer.
I'd be inclined to agree with that, but,
fall is better than spring.
No.
It's kind of like a loss of innocence or sadness to the start of fall. Like, summer is over, and when you're a little kid, you love
everything's
summer.
dying.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, when you're
Perfect.
Little kids all love summer, and you love to play outside because you're little and dumb and you don't understand temperatures. But
so the melancholy,
So yeah, like
really resonates with you.
The end of summer vacation and the start of school is quite sad. You got to say bye to your friends for the week. And it's a long
more
time,
bad points.
No, so it's like this nostalgic like sadness, and I think that makes fall really special.
Okay, my theory was that it's purely just Starbucks, and people wanting.
What?
I liked fall before Starbucks even existed.
I don't think you were alive before Starbucks existed. which I don't think I was either. How old is Starbucks?
I don't know, not that old.
No idea.
No. Anyway, fuck Starbucks, fuck fall,
fuck the
summer
police.
Forever. Police too.
I like winter, because everything's dead and everyone's miserable.
Of course.
Well, up in Maine, isn't winter like basically half the year?
No, we have 4 seasons like everyone else.
That's a goddamn lie.
It's not the Arctic Circle, as I've told you before. This week.
I know your tides are like 20-foot tides because you're so far north.
There are some areas that have quite substantial tides.
You bring a boat up into the river, and then when the tide goes out, the boat's sitting on the dirt.
It's not dirt, it's mud, because there's water in it. But if you understand how tides work, you don't moor your boat too close to the shore during high tide, and then the problem's solved.
Look, those of us like Adam and I who prefer to believe in miracles, we choose not to understand tides or magnets.
It's all magic. Yeah.
Miracles. I don't want to talk to a scientist.
The only tide I need is in a Tide Pod.
Because that shit's delicious.
I'm going to try this again. Speaking of delicious, you guys want to hear a delicious sci-fi story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Feed me, Seymour.
All right. So this story is called Sometimes Things Just Have to Be Renamed Because the Names They Have Are Problematic.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, that's true. No, so what's your story title?
That's the title. Here I go. Hauled by tractor beam to the New Australia, the passengers of Iggy 88's taxi ship, the Ratscallions Are Second-Class Citizens 1, were immediately taken into custody by pirates. The android assassin Iggy 88, Airy the Executioner, Nova Minerman, the main character of the universe Raven, and the Spermartian intern Rupert the Pervert were all unarmed and made no attempt to resist. Cramped in that tiny racist car was one more passenger, Mitch the Hammer, former shipwright of the New Australia, otherwise known as the terraformed planet that the Purple Pirates use as their pirate ship. Hey guys, it's me, Mitch! I used to be the master shipwright here! No one among the pirates responded. Iggy's ship had been pulled into one of the many hangars grafted to the surface of the New Australia. Upon landing the ship, a small platoon of pirates surrounded them, weapons drawn. Menacing variations of "Arr" accompanied the frequent cocking of laser blasters. A large, broad-shouldered pirate pushed his way to the front of the platoon. This was Commander Jacket, a half-human, half-ratscallion. The name of his ship was printed on the side of his ship in big, bold letters, so Iggy 88 tried to hide the name with both arms and then said as casually as possible, "Boy, it sure does feel good to stretch. Yep, I think I'll just hold this position for the duration of our conversation, and hey, aren't you a very large half-ratscallion?" Commander Jacket met Iggy's eyes with a cold stare. My father was apparently an unusually attractive big Nathie, while my mother was an unusually unattractive human. I've explained this to so many people throughout my entire life that I can't even manage the strength to be offended anymore.
His mom just sat on a rag. You know it.
Oh, sounds like you didn't really get along with your father. So tell me, what are your opinions on ratscallions? Iggy said while spreading his fingertips trying to cover as much of the ship's name as possible. Ratscallion society is hierarchical, and the Big Nathie's caste is considered to be similar to royalty. As such, it couldn't become known that my father had a bastard son. Being half ratscallion precludes me from most lines of work, despite my noble heritage, so there are times I am resentful of my parents. However, if you're asking me if I think ratscallions are second-class citizens, no, I don't, and I'm deeply offended by the name of your ship, which you already told me over the comms before we brought you in. I'm Commander Jacket. Okay, well, just so you know, the ship was already named that when I got it. I suppose that means I shouldn't blame you for not having changed the name yet. Right? No. Is there someone else in your group I can speak to? Every word you utter without apologizing to me first enrages me. Well, hey, Guy, you must not have heard me the first time, and that's okay, so I'll give it another go. It's me, Mitch. I used to be the master shipwright here, Mitch said louder and smiling even wider than before. Commander Jacket turned to face the Birdman directly. I heard you the first time, Mitch. What do you mean you used to be the master shipwright? Shouldn't you be banging a hammer somewhere? Mitch chuckled gently. Oh, come on. I've been gone for 5 years? You guys really haven't replaced me in all that time? You really trusted in me enough this whole time to know that I'd make it back on my own. I think I'm gonna cry. No one noticed you were gone, Jacket said bluntly. Though you should report to the captain immediately for punishment, since you apparently haven't been fulfilling your duties for the past 5 years. Sure thing. Can someone here get me a ride to Tortuga? Mitch asked. The captain's quarters were moved a couple years ago, Jacket said. Before the planet Zen was destroyed by our black hole generator, we grafted the city of Dark to the ship south of Shumwayburg. Vin took a liking to it, and it's been the new captain quarters since. But I suppose that if you didn't even know about that, you really have been gone a while, and you might not be aware of recent events. Thank you, Jacket, but I'll take over from here, a voice called out. The pirates all snapped to attention and cleared a path. Commander Jacket saluted and made introductions. Captain, these are the passengers of the Ratscallions or Second-Class Citizens 1. They are unarmed, and some are injured. An odd figure approached. Overall, one could say he was humanoid, but he had 4 legs, 2 of which were seemingly incorporeal. His face revealed that he was half human, and maybe half Ecophrygin? He looked dopey as fuck, and the way he carried himself let everyone else know that he knows exactly how dopey he looks. I'm Captain Turnip Toko, and holy shit, is that guy missing a hand? Turnip said, pointing at Ari and nearly heaving. A loud slap rang out as Turnip's mom, the half-banshee Vrika, smacked him in the back of the head. Compose yourself, Captain! Don't look like a bitch in front of guests! Ow! Turnip said, choking back tears and vomit. I mean, yeah, sometimes you just don't have a hand. Does that guy need help? With your permission, Captain, I'd like to personally take our injured to the medbay myself, Mitch said. You don't need my permission, Turnip began to say before his mom raised her fist again. I mean, you need my permission, 'cause I'm the captain, I guess, but go ahead, you have permission. Thank you very much, Captain. And by the way, Captain, can I ask why we're calling you Captain? Mitch asked. What? Because I'm the captain? Captain Turnip said as he tugged at his belt. My mom helped me start a mutiny, and I guess everything worked out that way, so here I am. Okay, I'm off to the medbay with these guys then, Mitch said and waved goodbye. Ask the rest of them why they're here! Vrika screamed at her son. Before becoming the captain, Turnip Toko had been a civilian terraformer on the New Australia. Like most of the civilians on the New Australia, his family's home city had been stolen by Vin and grafted onto the planet ship. Turnip wanted nothing more than to live a peaceful and normal life, but that all changed when he accidentally became a wanted criminal. Forced by fate and his mother to either submit himself to arrest or lead a mutiny against Vin, Turnip managed to recruit thousands to stand beside him through a slick campaign that went viral on the New Australia's intranet. Coincidentally, the date that Turnip picked for his mutiny was the same day Vin had gotten really drunk and depressed and went back to his home planet Spartine. With a mob behind him, Turnip marched to the governor's mansion. And with no idea where the captain was, Vin's officers decided to just pretend like they wanted to join the rebellion and announce they had successfully driven Vin off planet. Civilians on the planet were elated that the tyrant who had kidnapped them was gone. And the pirates didn't really care because most of the same officers were still going to run the day-to-day operations. Only one pirate really didn't like the change, and this was the former first mate and self-proclaimed best friend of Vin, the half-gray Sneeze. As Vin's first and best mate, there was no way he was just going to accept anyone else as his captain. The following internal monologue is translated approximately from Sneeze's native language to English. I have a thought. I'll go to the City of Dark and ask the Professor Goofy if he knows where my friend is. I remember my friend saying that he was talking to the professor. Finding the professor's lab wasn't an easy task, and Sneeze had spent the last month searching the twisted streets of Dark for any sign of Goofy. After a month of fruitless searching, Sneeze finally caught a break. He had been wandering the streets aimlessly as usual, when he came upon a wandering orgy pile that was too big to simply walk around. Sneeze ducked into an alley trying to avoid the orgy, where he found a small human male with a melted face masturbating into an oily rag. Sneeze thought back to the time Vin told him about his meeting with the other members of what he called the Fingered. Vin didn't have any kind things to say about any of the other members, or much of anything positive to say about the whole experience, but he did fondly recount throwing scalding hot tea in a dwarf's face and then laughing. Being the only lead Sneeze had so far, he followed the dwarf for hours, watching him masturbate several more times in different places throughout the city, before finally arriving at a distinctly science-y-looking building. The melted man knocked at the mechanically augmented door, yelling, "Help! Help!" A kindly old gray cyborg answered the door. "Ragfucker? Is that you? What's wrong?" "Professor Goofy, I have a mighty need for more oily rags," Ragfucker screamed. "Well, come on in." Goofy then cupped his mouth with his hand and called out, "I'll just leave the door open in case anyone else wants to come in." Goofy and Ragfucker then disappeared into the building. The following monologue is again translated from Sneeze's native language to English. It is disturbing that the professor seems to know that I am hiding outside his house. However, I have no choice. I have to follow the gnome to the library. Unlike the rest of the city, the inside of the laboratory was modern and sterile, and nothing was on fire. After a month spent wandering the City of Dark, Sneeze couldn't get the smell of burnt hair and sex out of his nose. He didn't have to wander far into the lab before he was approached by Professor Goofy. "Ah, yes, the pirate first mate Sneeze. Please, make yourself at home. I've been expecting you." Goofy extended one of his mechanically augmented hands out for a shake. The following is translated from Sneeze's native language to English. "Professor Goofy, how did you know I was coming to you?" Goofy scratched his head and responded, "I'm sorry, Sneeze. Though I am also a gray, I'm afraid I don't speak the motherland's language." "Please, then, Goofy, make excuses for my poor English. How did you know I was going to be coming to visit you?" "I know everything," Goofy laughed. "Except apparently how to speak any other language than English. How embarrassing." "Do not have stress then, buddy. But maybe I'm having stress. You know everything, so help me. Where is Buddy Vin? I think you know this."
I love Sneeze.
Indeed I do. It'll be no problem for me to send you right to him if you need. "Karoshi, yes, I will have a debt," Sneeze said with a little jump. His facial expression didn't change, but he was actually very excited that he could properly communicate. It had always seemed that Vin was the only one who could understand his English. It's like, even when Sneeze went to a cafe, the barista always made him repeat himself 3 times just to get a coffee. It's the same fucking word in both languages, but when someone has a different accent, suddenly you can't understand anything I'm saying, even though the word for the one fucking thing you sell in this place is the same. Fuck you.
Oh, it do be that way, though, don't it? It do fucking be that way.
Goofy motioned for Sneeze to follow with a big theatrical sweep of his mechanically augmented arm. Just follow me right this way. Yes, yes. Pay no attention to that man fucking the curtain. Goofy led his guest through the lab, past rooms with retina scan locks and odd labels. Behind one door was, quote, probably good technology, and behind another, probably evil technology. I am familiar with vocabulary of signs you have, but still question, how can technology be good or technology be evil? Gosh, a keen observation. Most of my experiments concern the concept of good and evil. If I can quantify and qualify them, it would be a huge step forward in what I call Project Goofy's final solution.
Oh, Jesus.
I am having many big problems with name of Goofy Final's solution. Ooh, that's exactly the kind of feedback I'm looking for. I'll be sure to include your reaction in my calculations. The 2 Greys finally made it deeper into the lab, where Goofy keeps his portal technology. These portals, Goofy explained, connect to 5th dimensional dark space and... You know what? Don't worry about it. Goofy activated one of the machines, which generated a dark and shimmering portal. Step through this portal, and you'll be sent directly through time and space to your friend Vin. I thank you so much, Goofy. Because you are gray like me, please to learn some gray language. Next time, let's speak in mother tongue. Sure thing, Goofy said as he smiled and waved goodbye to the half-gray Sneeze before he disappeared into the portal. Goofy then promptly turned around, turned off the machine, and headed back to his good and evil tech labs. When Goofy reached the lab again, he was greeted by Ragfucker, who scampered up to Goofy with an expectant smile. Did this one do good? You sure did, little feller. In fact, I think you've earned a reward, Goofy said as he reached into his pocket. Let's see, how many oily rags should I give you? 2? Ragfucker shook his head violently from side to side. You greedy little monkey. 3? Ragfucker cried, More! More! How many oily rags do I even have in my pocket? Oh, would you look at that? 5 rags. Ragfucker's wild, bloodshot eyes grew wide. Goofy threw the 5 oily rags up in the air, and Ragfucker pounced, leaping up and snatching the rags greedily. Enjoy those rags, friend. You've earned 'em. I guess that makes enough data on the morality of betrayal. Though my experiments of betraying the trust of those sandwich makers down the street, then betraying that League assassin Iggy, and then betraying the other fingered, I can conclusively deduce that the act of betrayal isn't significantly good or evil, but it does trend towards evil at 0.09%. Ragfucker looked up at his master, concerned momentarily with something besides ragfucking. Where did you send the pirate? Well, gosh. To his death, of course. That wasn't a portal device. Guh. That was the mirror dimension device. As soon as I turned off the device, the dimension he was sent to disappeared, deleting everything inside. Goofy's laughing slowed after a bit. He wiped a tear from his eye and asked, "There are multiple variables to consider, of course, but Ragfucker, do you think murdering a pirate is evil?" Ragfucker had already mentally checked out of the conversation, and checked into a veritable rag orgy in the furthest corner of the room. Okie dokie. With my morality research complete, I can move on to Phase 2 of Project Goofy's final... Oh, you know what? I hear it now. I get how final solution could be problematic. Anyway, time to move on to Phase 2 of Project Kill Space God. Phase 2, of course, being the death of Jared, the main character of the universe. Goofy had not yet heard that the main character of the universe changed his name to Raven. Ragfucker stumbled up to Goofy with his soiled wad of rags. "Was Master laughing at this one?" "Oh, heavens, no! I was just monologuing. In my studies, I found significant correlation between monologuing and evil." "That's good," Ragfucker said with a yawn. He placed all his rags on the floor, made a little nest for himself, and fell right asleep.
Ugh.
Meanwhile, at a med bay nearby, Airy began to wake up after his operation. He wiped the sleepy sand from his eyes to find Nova asleep in a chair, with her head resting at the foot of his bed. He softly called out to her, but she was pretty drunk and wouldn't be woken easily. Apparently having heard Airy awaken, Mitch poked his head in past the curtain around Airy's bed. He was wearing a lab coat and had one of those shiny metal Dr. Mirrors on his head. "How you feeling, big guy?" "Like shit." "That's to be expected, what with getting your hand cut off and losing a lot of blood." "My hand was cut off? If that's the case, whose hand is touching my dick right now?" Airy asked, possibly aroused. "That's your hand. I mean, it's your new hand. We didn't have any normal cyborg prosthetics laying around, what with this being a pirate ship and all. But we did have a really cool weaponized cyborg prosthetic hand laying around, what with this being a pirate ship and all." "Weaponized?" Airy asked, now definitely aroused. "Oh yeah. It's got a space saber and a blaster cannon built right into it. Want to go try it out?" "Oh, hell yeah!" The end.
Ooh. Good, funny joke story this week.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I really resonated with the part about the coffee. It's, some of the best jokes come from your real life experience, I think.
Definitely sounded like something coming from your personal experience, that one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really enjoying the development of Turnip.
Oh, yeah?
And then I never realized Ragfucker was, like, a small person.
He's not...
He's a dwarf.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
The race, not saying he's a little person.
I thought you made your character a little person. I was like,
No.
That's really progressive.
He just keeps
Except calling them dwarves isn't progressive.
No, I mean, yeah, the characters are not, and the characters are the ones that call him that, because that's what Vin called him.
So he's got a great big bushy beard.
And after so for all of Sneeze's English translated dialogue, what I did was I took what I wanted him to say in English, and then I went to Google Translate, and I had it translate back and forth into Russian and then back into English a few times until it was
sounded
enough.
Weird.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
that's good.
Yeah, at one point Sneeze called him a gnome.
Yeah, I love that.
And he called the laboratory a library. So yeah, they're not using the correct words. And no, he's not a little person, but he has been through some shit. He's not in very good shape. So
is he a human?
he is, yeah.
So we established that Iggy is the cause of all of the universe's problems. So is his taxi's name the reason for racism against rapscallions? I've been thinking about that.
Maybe.
All right, that's not a satisfactory answer.
To be continued on your answer.
Yeah. Next time we do a crossover episode, I'll have to discover that.
Okay, I'll leave it to you then. Yeah, I think I will definitely then leave it a mystery as to why his cab is named that. Because Iggy didn't name it.
He didn't paint over it, though.
Yeah.
And therefore he's not responsible for anyone's reaction to it.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yep. It's our history. You can't go changing history. Sorry I killed Sneeze right after you said that you liked him.
Yeah, man. Maybe he's not dead. He's not dead in my heart.
It had been a while since I killed a character, and I thought
I know you were getting antsy about it. You've been talking about
bloodlust.
You're like, I just gotta kill a character. Come on. All right, George R. R. Martin, chill.
So the mirror dimension that's been brought up before, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't it how it disappears when you stop projecting it or something?
Yeah, exactly.
That was established, yeah.
That's where they went to do all the goofy stuff with Cuck and Purdue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys remembered. Yeah. That was the Apocalypse and Dimensions episode.
Yeah, where Purdue made a potion that makes the whole world catch on fire or something.
Yeah. So they just turned that off. And in that episode, I established that everything disappears and used it as like foreshadowing and then didn't do anything with it. In that episode, they all got out no problem. Yeah. So I guess it was foreshadowing this intentionally, like I always knew it would.
Yes, several years later. Yeah.
Apocalypse and Dimensions was Adam on the show yet for Apocalypse and Dimensions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was right after Rock's Magnetism.
That was like the first or second one he did. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Then,
Because he's been around for the whole My Current Story, so. And that's when that started, was Apocalypse and Dimensions.
There's a Roger.
Right.
The spaceman. Janitor.
Yep.
Well, then, it hasn't been that long.
It's only been a whole year.
No.
Maybe a whole year, yeah. All right. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here, both of you guys. And we're going to celebrate officially Adam's 1 year anniversary. What is that?
You're going to buy me a cake and put one big old candle on it.
I guess. It's probably been more than that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know, any other good or bad feedback? Because
bad feedback.
We can wrap it
Sneeze
up.
dead. I'm depressed.
Sorry.
And that makes me happy, so good feedback.
No!
Callback. You see?
Yeah. All right, then. Thank you guys very much for listening to my story. And next week, we will have a story from...
Me?
Yeah!
Yeah!
Yeah! Question
How
mark?
can you remember parts of his stories from a year ago, but you don't remember what order we do these in?
Look, man, I remember the important things.
Well then, yep, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.